Hey guys, John here. Thank you for tuning into Project EQ. And this is week 3 of me going on my 100-day challenge of not drinking and meditating every day. Everything so far, so good. Successfully met my commitments of not drinking and meditating for a minimum of 30 minutes every day. There were actually even a couple days last week where I meditated for 40 minutes. Sometime in the near future, I plan on increasing my 30-minute minimum to 45 minutes every day. I'm really getting a lot of benefits from meditating, and I know that if I increase the amount of time that I meditate, then the benefits are just going to keep on coming. So that's going to be something I'm going to do sometime in the near future. I'm not exactly sure when, but I will make that decision at some point. Like I said, everything has been really good, except last week there was one day that was a bit more difficult than other days that I've experienced on this challenge. As I mentioned to you before, I've actually been working 2 jobs for the past couple weeks, and on last Thursday, my second job actually ended. So on Friday, when I got off of work at 5:30, I was actually feeling really, really good, really happy, really excited to have these extra few hours to myself. And normally in that situation, what I would normally do is I would go out with some friends and have a heavy night of drinking, and probably stay out really late and wake up the next day extremely hungover. So what I did in that situation, the first thing is I decided to message a couple of my friends, a couple friends out here that are close and that are always here for support. And just by me sending out a message to them, I immediately felt a lot less. The urge went down significantly. It was still there, and I was still fighting against it. But just me kind of venting out what I was experiencing. Everything was a lot better. So I decided to go home. I put on my gym clothes. I went to the gym, exercised for a bit, and when I got home, I actually ordered a lot of Indian food. I don't know if you guys like Indian food, but it's something it's one of my favorite types of food. And the amount of food that I ordered wasn't enough for just one person or even 2 people. It was actually probably enough to feed a small family. So I overindulged in a bunch of food. Probably not the best thing that I could have done, but it was definitely a lot better than going out and drinking. So yeah, that was one of my more difficult days that I've had on this challenge so far, but successfully resisted the urge. Some of the benefits that I've been experiencing. So by not drinking, I'm actually finding myself losing a bit of weight. Before, when I was going out, I would usually drink quite a bit of beer. Beer has a lot of calories, a lot of carbohydrates, and when you're drinking a lot of beer, you typically gain a lot of water weight as well. So by me not consuming, then I've lost about 7 pounds or about 3 kilos in just a matter of a few weeks. So I really, those are one of the side effects that everyone certainly appreciates. In addition, what I've decided to do is I put myself on a ketogenic diet. You guys may have heard it as the keto diet. The keto diet is one that is very high in fat, has a moderate level of protein, and then very, very low level of carbohydrates. It's supposed to help you lose some excess weight, but one of the other benefits of it is that it's actually supposed to help with brain functioning, so improving focus and concentration. And so I hope to experience some benefits with that. And also combining that with some extensive exercise. So just trying to keep myself active in, very positive and healthy ways to take advantage of this challenge that I'm on. All right, so in the last video, I made a request for you guys to ask me some questions or just kind of make some statements about what you thought about the challenge that I was on. and I received a few that were really good. And I'm gonna address a couple of those in this video because I think that they're very important to address. The first one, this person mentioned about something that I've actually been thinking about over the years, and it relates to my relationship with alcohol. And what the statement was mentioning is, and it was talking about how alcohol is one of those tricky substances because it's so socially acceptable. If you have a celebration, typically there's alcohol involved. If you're having a hard day at work, typically there's alcohol involved. Or if you just want to relax after work, typically there's alcohol involved. And because it's so socially acceptable, it's very difficult for people to kind of realize that they might have a level of alcoholism. It's very easy to get into that kind of denial phase because if everyone else is doing it, then why do you think you have a problem if everyone else is doing it? And I know that I've definitely fallen into that, and that's probably one of the reasons why I've been drinking for so long is because I didn't really acknowledge it as kind of an issue. Also, too, kind of a fact for you guys. For someone that is very heavily addicted to alcohol, when they're going through withdrawal symptoms, they can actually die as a result of going through those withdrawals. The physical dependency is so strong for people that get heavily addicted that it can actually take your life. So, and to my knowledge, there are no other substances out there that can actually do that. So just to kind of like put it in perspective and for something to think about of how damaging alcohol can actually be if you let it get to a particular point. The next one was also a very important question, and one that actually caused me to think quite a bit. And the question was, will you continue to drink after your 100-day challenge is over? Now, my initial response was no, and my response now is still definitely not. As I've mentioned this before, 100 days is really only the beginning for me to kind of get a grasp and for me to understand my relationship with alcohol and why it is that I was drinking so heavily in the past. Now, it's really important for me to get to that deep root cause because any sort of addiction is usually related to insecurities. And I can say honestly that my consumption of alcohol was definitely, or at least part of it was definitely related to insecurities that I have. And so for me to get to the root cause and for me to understand and overcome those insecurities that I have, it's very important for me to not have alcohol in my life. Now, in the future, if I decide that I want to moderate, then that's going to be a really big and important decision for me to make because at that time, if I'm considering bringing it back into my life, then I really have to question why I would decide to bring it back in. So in regards to those questions, I really appreciate them. And to kind of end this video, I definitely urge you, if you have any questions, please feel free to ask them because I'm personally finding a lot of benefit from them. They're causing me to think a lot about things from different perspectives, and I definitely want to address them in these videos. And maybe my response might help someone else out there as well. So if you have a question, please feel free to ask it. I really appreciate it. All right, guys, until next week, which will be week 4, everyone please take care, and I'll talk to you soon.